You are in the interview. Everything is going on well. You have presented yourself as the most competent candidate for this job, and everything is going on all right. And suddenly, the interviewer asks you a question. Tell me about a time you led your team through conflict, and you just go blank. You freeze totally, not because you are not competent, but at that point, you can't come up with a story that can quickly help you to answer the question. So you mumble. You say things like, yes, I have handled conflict most of the time. I make sure that I listen to one party, I listen to the other party, and I find a middle ground to make sure that the problem is resolved. And you just mumble words. You fill in the gap. You try to cover the vacuum. But it's obvious. The interviewer just stands still, you know, a strained look, sometimes feeling disappointed, or just trying to make sure to give you a signal to make sure that you come back to the real self that you have presented in the beginning, to keep up with the pace that you have created, thinking that you found the right candidates. Today I'm going to show you why this is happening and what you should be doing about it. Welcome to Leadership Lens Academy. My name is Funke Olaonipepu. I'm the founder of Leadership Lens Academy. This channel is created for you to build your career, to lead with confidence, to help you to be the kind of leader you want to be, and build a career that you're actually proud of. And today we are going to fix one of the most painful parts of our career journey, that sometimes we're not even bold enough to tell people what happened. And so people ask you, how did the interview? How was the interview? How did it go? And you simply say, oh, it's fine. I hope you come back well. Then the next 2, 3 days, you start reframing in your mind how the interview went actually, how you mumble words, how show me or or tell us a time that something happened, throw you off balance and make you lost sometimes the most significant opportunity, one of the best opportunity you could have ever had. So today, I'm going to talk you through it. I'll show you why you go that way in interview, why you freeze up in interview, what you should do, and how to prevent it next time. So stay with me and we'll walk through all of this together. And if you're new to this channel, please subscribe, share the link with your friends. Every Monday, 3 p.m., we come here together and we discuss a new topic about how you can improve your leadership skills, teach you leadership skills, help you to build a career that you are truly proud of. So today, like I said, we will be discussing why you actually freeze up in an interview. Why? Do you know? This is one of the most common reasons why we freeze up in interview. Actually, I'll give you three. Number one, an interview asks your brain to do three things at the same time. An interview, you're sitting in front of a stranger, a panel of people you have not met before. You have presented yourself so well to them. They've invited you to come and tell them why you are the right person for that job. And so, in that place, you are asking your brain to do three things. Number one, you are asking your brain to recall a specific situation, a specific past moment that you can use for that situation. Two, you are also asking your brain to organize it in a clear, logical, story way that you can present it to them. You are also telling your brain to deliver the story so smooth and loud that the interviewer can pick what they want and actually trust you to be the right person. Each of those things in itself, it's difficult to achieve. Now, doing all of these three together in the front of a stranger staring at you is scary. It puts you on the spot. Studies have also shown that giving leaving your stories to the point where you are on the spot before you are able to put something together. Studies shows that this is difficult. So it's not something that is peculiar to you. It will happen or must have happened to virtually every one of us because we are putting our brain on the spot and the brain doesn't work that way. So The number two thing that can make you freeze in an interview is that most of the time, and virtually everyone I've spoken with recently is guilty of this, we don't capture our moments. No, most people don't capture their moments. They go to work, they bring a problem to your table, you solve it, you are happy, you're elated. Oh, I'm doing great. I was able to solve that problem. And in the next couple of minutes or hours, another problem is passed to your desk. Then you lose your focus on the success you just had and focus yourself on solving the new problem, which is actually good. That's what we will do. After doing that, you don't go back to that first experience that you scaled through, that you passed, and reflect on it. So that thing actually happened to you, but you did not reflect on it. And this is what reflection does. Reflection is what actually help you to put things that happen to you into a context, into a story that becomes your own and that you can retell. But most of us, we go to work, we solve problem, we do a lot of things. 12 hours shift, 10 hours, 8 hours, 8 to 4. You're busy solving one problem or the other. But once you're done, you shut down your laptop, you carry your bag, you quickly rush home, and that's the end. Then you are ready for the next stage of week in, week out, months, years. And then you have spent 3 years on this job, and it's time for you to go on another promotion, and you're preparing for interview. Even though you have done a lot of things, but you have never captured them. They happened to you, but you didn't reflect on them. So it did not come to you as a personal story. It did not come to you as an experience. Even though you remember the circumstances or situation, but you don't have the details because you did not reflect on it, you did not make it your own, and you did not write it down or simply put it into a context that is useful for you to use another time. So when you appear before an interview panel, for example, and they ask you a question, you know right well that you have the answer. You know you have been in those situations. So you put your brain on the spot to start searching for the information. Maybe it happened 2 years ago, it happened 3 years ago. Some of our situation will even come from our story, especially the experienced one. It come from your story last 10 years. And that's the essence of experience. Especially if you approach an interview panel and you said, "Oh, I have 15 years experience in this field. I can do this. I can do that." When they give you questions of "tell me," "show me," "can you tell us a time," they are expecting you to dip into your knowledge of experience. They are expecting you to dip into your bank of experience. They want to hear you what you did 6 years ago. They want to hear you what you did 10 years ago. But you won't be able to poke it out if you have not make it your own personal story, reflect on it, see what you learn, see how it happened, and present it in a logical, clear storyline that the interviewer can pick. So you know you have it, but you're unable to draw it out. Now tell me, what is the essence of a well full of water, but you cannot draw out? You are as good as somebody who lack the experience. And so most of the time, painfully so, experienced people, qualified candidates, walk out of an interview room losing the most valuable opportunities, a good way for them to just get promotion. They are experienced, they are competent, but they have not been able to put their experience into context, into story, clearly stated, logically put into stories or what they personally own. Number three, another reason why you freeze in an interview is because you have been given a wrong advice. Ask anybody, think about the time you have tell people that, "Oh, I'm going for an interview. Do you have any clue for me?" What would they tell you? They say, "Oh, just be yourself. Be confident. Prepare. Just prepare and be confident. You know, you're already doing all of these things. You know it already. So just be calm." But that advice, as emotional, as easier, as whatever way it sounds to the ear, as clear as simple as it sounds, is a bad advice. Yes, telling you to be confident to just be yourself for an interview is a bad advice. Why? Because it doesn't give you something to do. A good advice should give you something to do so that when you get to the interview, you bring up what you have been practicing. So these are the reasons why you might likely freeze up in an interview. And so today I'm going to walk you through. And another reason is because, which we will get to later, is because your method of planning for the interview is probably wrong. And I'll come to that later. We are in the days of AI now, where people write supporting sentences with AI. You pick up a job application, you read the job description, the person specification, you are convinced you know it. You know you can do the job. The person described in that place looks like you. And so, in order to appear, special, in order to appear the best, you sat down with AI and he wrote your supporting sentence. Even statement, even though it takes you to the interview place, what you come to the interview to do is to defend yourself, is to tell us that whatever you wrote in your supporting statement is to demonstrate it within. Most interview lasts up to 20 or 30 minutes at most, is to demonstrate your 15 years of experience, your 10 years of experience, your reason for being the best candidate for the job in about 20 to 20 minutes. And feed you leaving that great assignment for AI. It's something dangerous, which we will talk about later. But now let's talk about how you can actually resolve this problem. The number one way for you to resolve this problem is to keep a work log. Some people call it brag document. Yes, you should keep a work log. You know the way a business will keep an accounting sheet, the way accounts will keep the way a business, sorry, we keep an accounting ledger. That's how you should have a career log. Have a work log. When you go to work Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., or most people 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., something is happening. You're solving problem. You're doing the work you are being paid to do. And that's building up as experience for you, as experiences for you. That's building up your portfolio. Every interaction you had, every meeting you attended, every solution you provided, every conflict you resolve, every conversation you have, that's what makes up the 15 years of experience that you're coming to tell the interviewer that you have. If you have it on paper and it's not your own, you don't have a log, or you have it in your head, you haven't actually documented it, you will be surprised how disappointing your brain will act. And don't blame your brain for it. The brain is not designed to work that way. The brain is designed to learn with repetition, with reflection, with recalling. So when you experience something, the ideal way to make it your own personal story, a story that you can retell, is to keep it in a log in a simple way. At the end of the work week for you, make sure you write at least 3 sentences. And this is what you're going to write. What did you do that week? What you did, the results, and what you learned. In fact, there are a series of reflective frameworks that you can use. The commonest one gives reflection framework, reflective framework. What happened? How did you feel? What did you learn? What will you do better next time? So that gives you a large portfolio of information that becomes your own story. Because let's face it, most of the questions you are going to be asking, to be answering in the interview, if truly you meet up with the job description and person specification, you've already done it. But if you cannot express it, even if you are working in the same establishment and people have been seeing you doing it, they want to listen to you. They want to hear you express yourself. Nobody is going to assume that you know how to do it. And most times, you might be facing people you have never faced before. So instead of getting angry with your manager, instead of getting angry that you didn't get promoted, oh, and I've been doing this, I say this a lot, oh, I've been doing this a lot, I work very hard, I do this, I do that, and now somebody who I trained, somebody who is not as qualified as me, is now going to pick up the job. That's very disappointing. Don't forget, An interview panel is going to be made up of, even if your manager is attending. The right thing is that other people are on the panel who are not partial, who are not sentimental, who doesn't know you but want to listen to you. Even your manager at that point, they don't know you. In quote, you are new to them, they are new to you. Because whatever you have done in the past is different. This job interview, this person's specification that you are looking for now is different. They know you on the job you have been doing, but they need to know you on this job you are going to do. And the only way for you to sell yourself is to bring out your stories. Some of your stories your manager might even be aware of, but she might not have the details. But this is you. It happened to you. You know the details, you know what you did. Even your manager might be thinking that happened as a teamwork. But maybe, who knows, you have done 98% of it, but you presented it to your manager as a team, which is good. You have team spirit. But here you are answering questions for yourself, and that means you have to be able to put your answer in context so that whoever is listening is not listening with sentiment, is not listening with judgment, is not listening with prejudice, but they are listening to what you are saying, and they are able to pick their answer correctly. Yes, we understand that there are politics in the workplace. We understand that a lot of things can go wrong with interview and all of that. But make yourself the purple cow. Make yourself the person that cannot just be thrown away. Prepare yourself in such a way that your point gives you greater marks that leaves a wide gap. Let me tell you, if you go in an interview with somebody and you score 68, and there is another person that scores 65 or even 60, there are usually things that they can consider that will not make your mark relevant. Yes. But when you go to an interview and your point, your presentation, you score 85, and whoever is coming after you, you leave a wide gap. They are scoring 50, they are scoring 55. Even when somebody is partial, they have a favorite candidate that they want to present. Other people on the panel we say, oh, this person did this person did that. You have a wide gap, a wide range of evidences that presents you. And that's how you should approach every interview. That's how you should approach even if you have been doing secondment in that job, even if you have been doing that particular job in a different company, the moment that job is advertised, please understand that you are in a pool. Sometimes hundreds of people are in that pool together with you, sometimes 1,000 of people. And what actually differentiates you, like Seth Godin will say, is to be a purple cow. We are familiar with black cows, we're familiar with the white ones. Even the brown one are not so strange. But even you, when you see a purple cow on the street, what will you do? You turn your attention. You want to find out what is happening. So make yourself that person. How? By documenting your journey. Every time you have an experience, every time something happen at work, document it, write it, reflect on it, give it a structure. Studies shows that the more senior you are, the more senior your job title is, the more need for you to have a journal. And I'll say it this way. If you are ever planning to climb your career ladder, to go to the peak of your career, you need a journal. Every other person can say it's not necessary. That's fine. But if you know you want to climb the career ladder, you want to do job interview that takes you from where you are now to the next stage, you want your experience to count. Experience counts when you are able to relate it to present situation, tell us how you fit in. You will never be able to do that until you have trained your brain to reflect, to retell, and to recall when you need them. So I'm telling you now to get a log. And the good thing is that I'm going to be giving you out a simple framework and a log, a worksheet that you can be using every week, 10, 15 minutes. Write down three things. This happened. This is what I did. This is what I learned. This is the result. And before you know it, if you keep a log every Friday, but at the end of a quarter, that's 12 stories. That's a library of events that you can actually pick from. And when you go to an interview, you don't have to freeze. So this is why you should take this very serious and build a career log, a work log, or call it a brag document like some people do. But make sure the summary is this: document your experience, document your learning, reflect on them. Any experience you don't reflect on is either going to happen and you make the same mistake again, or you lose the good aspect of it. Because until you reflect, until it's like juicing out what actually happened, bringing out the best part of it, you will lose it. So please start a work log and keep it all the time. Another reason why you should keep a work log is that studies have shown that one of the things that motivates us in our day-to-day activities, sometimes it might not even the work, it might not be just the work environment, it might not be that just you have a good manager, is most times the simple wins that you have daily. Think about a time that you are most happy and vibrant at work. It's possible that you were able to complete your to-do list that day, and it just gives you some motivation to continue. It gives you a sense of meaningful job. You document it. Yes, but the problem is you won't get that motivation if you can't see it. The only way to see it is to document it. You don't just tell, you show. You show and tell. So show your works. Document what you are doing. When the time comes, either for professional development review or for interview, then you have a library, something you have built up over time to use for your own success. That's how careers progression are made. And so now I'm going to tell you the third thing that is happening. Why your interview might actually go wrong, or what you can actually happen to you and make you freeze. We talk about keeping a log. The number two things is that you should please stop using AI wrongly. We know. I'm not here to tell you to stop using AI. AI is a tool. But I want you to remember, a tool in the hand of a knowledgeable person will increase their effectiveness. A tool in the hand of a fool will suddenly become a weapon. So instead of making a tool useful for you, you can be killing yourself with a tool. And that's what most people are doing with AI when it comes to job application and interview. Why you can actually get away with it at job application, because sometimes AI can be used to, so many applications can be used to pick candidates based on the right word that you have used and the right word that has been programmed. But even if you scale through the job application process by I can tell you 99.9% that a good interviewer will pick you up if you have prepared your interview using AI, especially in a wrong way. And I will show you how. You know, you prepare for an interview, and for example, you have practiced scenario questions, and you tell AI, please tell me how I can answer a question about, tell me how you showed a leadership quality, or tell me a time you showed leadership in your workplace. AI will give you a very good, perfect, clean, amazing response that is so polished. It can come up and give you something like, I am a highly motivated team leader. I leverage synergy and energy in a dynamic environment to get direct, impactful results. Didn't that sound great? You just simply say, oh, I am a dynamic leader. I work in a dynamic environment. It gives you big grammar and big words. And that gets the attention of the interviewer. And they were like, oh, that's very great. Please, can you tell us the type of environment, the dynamic environment, and what you actually did in that environment? You go blank. You know why? You don't have a story. You ask AI, a tool who is not you. You actually handed over your life into it for a tool to handle. And that's not the best way to handle it. AI is good, and I'm not here to tell you not to use it, but please use this as a tool and be an effective user by giving AI your story. You remember the log we talked about? If you have a personal log that you give to AI as a tool, you have your own personal story, you have your own experience. For example, to answer that question. You impute your leadership stories that you have documented over the past years. You impute it into AI and any of the AI platform, and you say, "This is my experience. How can I use it to answer this question?" You have your story. What AI is going to do for you is that it will put your story into context, structure it for you, which is what you are actually looking for. You put it in a structure for you, and you can tell your story in your own way, in the way that it has actually happened. Because no matter how hard you try, no matter how hard you prompt, AI is not you. AI is artificial, is a tool, and nobody will be able to tell your story better than yourself. Of course, you can learn how to structure your story. You can learn how to tell a story. You can learn how to put things into context, but nobody will ever be able to explain your experience better than you do. So instead of doing garbage in, garbage out, preparing your interview and your job application using AI, impute your story, impute your experience, especially if you have kept a work log or a brand document, and use those tools to structure your answer, and stop putting yourself on the spot. Stop sounding nice and not being able to defend it. Stop sounding intelligent in front of interviewer and end up being foolishly looking up into the sky when they ask you follow-up question. So yes, AI is a tool. Use it if you have to, but use it rightly. Otherwise, it becomes a weapon. I don't want that for you. So please be wise when you're using tools for your career development. And again, another thing that we should know and learn with this is that you should learn to give your story a structure. Give it a shape. I've sat down in an interview panel and I've seen people tell a story, tell stories, wonderful stories, but the details that is necessary is omitted, and the whole chunk is full of what we don't need. You must have heard about STAR. That's the best invented method of answering an interview question that I've ever found. So use it. STAR, STAR, is an acronym that stands for S stands for situation. What's the situation? What's the background of the story? Like, give your interviewer a context. One or two sentence. Please don't start with when the client now came, they now came out of the car, they now crossed, I saw them on the window, they now climbed the lift, they now asked, and ongoing. Give it two sentence maximum. Just set a context. I am the receptionist on duty that day. A client needing so came up and asked for this. That's all. Move on quickly. Just set a stand a set, just set it for the situation, and then you go on to the task. What's your responsibility? T stand for task. What's your responsibility in that situation? Why should you be the one attending to the situation that you mentioned? Why should you be the right person to assist that person? What is your task? What is your role? What were you responsible for in that story? Don't give us stories. It's not a tale. It's not a fairy tale. Just give us your task, what you were responsible for, the goal that you actually want to achieve. And then go to A, that's action. That's the most important part of that. What I have noticed is that people talk a lot about the situation. They make it so elaborate and big so that they can appear as the omnipotent and the omnipresence of that situation. They elaborate their task and make it so wild. Then when they get to action, it's empty. The core thing interviewer are waiting to listen to, they are absent. Or again, people say, and we, and we, and we. That's not a group interview. That's you. State specifically what you did. I did this. Even if you have done it as part of a team, make the part that you have participated in, make your own part specific. That interview is for you and not for a group of people. So please be specific. Make your response specific. And the last thing is results. That's R. What was the result? If you have been able to tell us your action, what you did, step by steps, and you have personalized it, what result did you have? This is one thing I want you to take note about results. If you can, use numbers. Understand numbers. That's the whole essence of the mathematics, or one of the essence of the mathematics you did in school. Put it into place. At the end of the day, were you able to reduce the hours? Maybe by doing so, 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 and so, I was able to reduce the 6 hours waiting time to 2. The interviewers are listening, they are looking for the results. They are looking for numbers. Every business thrives on numbers. So your interviewer will be waiting for numbers. Or I was able to manage 12 patients instead of 6. Use numbers as much as possible. Some you will not be able to use numbers, but bring out your results in a clear statistical way. You can use percentages, you can use time, you can use, but please put it into numbers. So just to wrap up, we've been talking about why you freeze in interview, why you, after presenting yourself in an interview as the best candidate, you suddenly go blank when you hear practical questions, when you listen to a question that is asking you to put your experience in a sentence in 1 minute, why you suddenly go blank. So today I have told you, it's simple. Our brain is not wired to do many things at the same time. Because when you're facing an interviewer, you are looking for a story, a specific story. You are telling your brain to arrange it logically. You are telling your brain to prepare it in a way that you will give it to stories and bring it in 1 second. All while you are standing in front of a stranger, maybe 4 or 5 people, and some of them can be very intimidating. To be fair, let's be sincere. Facing strangers who can determine the course of your life, the course of your career, can be very, very intimidating. So help yourself by helping your brain to prepare. Create a work log where you document your experience, you reflect on it, and put it into stories. And then, even if you have to use AI at all to prepare, please give AI your stories. Don't wait until it gives you generic questions where it gives you big grammar that you cannot defend. Every interviewer, even your interviewer, might be using AI, so they know how to tell you, to bring you out. They know how to tell where you are not telling your story, but giving them a generic answer. And don't forget, the same way you are using AI to prepare, other candidates are probably also using AI, and so everybody is going to be sounding the same. You remember when I said you should stand out, be the purple cow, by telling your own simple, clear, original story, because you have these stories in your bank, only that you have either not made a deposit, or you are not monitoring your account, and all of a sudden you want to deposit for an account that you have never managed. And again, don't just tell stories. You can have a good stories and tell it in a bad way, that even when you start, nobody wants to listen. So that's where start comes in. The situation, the task, the actions which you personalize to yourself, which is what the interviewer wants to know, what you have done before and what you will do in this new role. And the results. Every employer is looking for results. They have a problem, they want to solve it. The result matters. So state it clearly, put it into numbers, use statistics, use your mathematics knowledge. And I hope you have found this useful. If you comment star method, or you just simply say share in the comment, I'll send you a workbook that you can use, that contain a summary of what we have talked about today, and how you can actually document your learnings to create a bank, a log, a brag document that prepares you for your next career journey. So that when you next time you are preparing for an interview, you are not running a tasketa. You just pick out your document, you read through it, your story, and you prepare scenario-based question based on your own story, rather than the generic answer that AI will be giving you and every other applicant. That's the way to stand out. I hope you find it useful. Please share, save the video, send share or comments, and I will send you the log. Share this video with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. This channel is built for you. We want to listen to you. We want to support you in your career journey. We want to make sure that you build a career that you are actually proud of. We want to make sure that you are the leader, that the kind of leader that people are waiting to see. We want to be you to be the leader that actually solve problem rather than creating. And the way we do that is by offering you skills, teaching you, and joining with you in your career journey. Remember to share this video, subscribe, feel free to ask your questions, send in your comments, and we will look out for you. My name is Funkeola Onipeku. Until I come your way next week, Monday, 3 p.m., and we discuss other topics. Feel free to send in your questions. And thank you so much for sharing this video and listening to me. I'll see you again. Bye.